Yeah,
unbelievable. Like,
I know.
This heat.
Wait another week.
I don't want to.
Well,
I don't want to.
are you guys going to the rodeo or anything?
Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slim said we should come. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
he's pickup man. So.
Oh, he's pickup man in that. That would be great.
Yeah. Perfect. We're already on mute. So let's go over here. Got it.
We are live.
And we should be. Oh, we are.
Well, live, it's the fans' perspective, and it has been a while.
It has been a long while. Too long.
Too long is right. So much has happened. Where do we start? I guess we'll just say 8 o'clock or roughly around there. Another chuck wagon driver.
We have a guest.
Jamie Laboucane, WPCA, is going to be joining us at around 8 o'clock. So,
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So another perspective on something that I didn't even know about 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I am crazy. So a little cool chuck wagon thing. So I am down camping at Sasklanding last week. And my neighbors, so it comes Friday night. High River's on, right? So I'm out there with the computer and got the races. Overcome my neighbors. Huge chuck wagon fans. They go to Calgary. He works for Plains Midstream and she works for Alberta Health Services. And they're listening and quizzing me. And every morning we talked about the chuck wagons and had coffee. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You find out that everybody knows. I was the only person that never knew about it.
Well, yeah, you were a loner.
I was a loner. It makes sense.
Well, you do cheer for the Orioles.
Hey. Well, how about
the
Orioles?
You're on the fence. I've heard rumors. Kind of on the fence.
The one team I decide, I don't even follow. I don't actually follow baseball. You guys know. I don't know what the fuck with that.
No.
I chose the Braves randomly because I went to a game. Happens to be their number 1 in the world rankings. The Orioles are number 2. I just can't. I can't.
You
go
can't
wrong.
go wrong.
Until it comes to hockey and football.
Baseball must be your sport.
And it just took 37 years to figure it out. Bullshit.
You better not ever
cheer for them Oilers.
Yeah, don't cheer for the Oilers.
Don't worry.
Bad shit can happen.
Never happen.
Oh, a little. You like it. A little bit down low. You like it.
I don't. So. Down low. That's where the heartburn kicks
in. Rider talk. We're without. And by the way,
we got to go right into that.
Well, no, we're not going to go into that. We're going to have Jamie on at 8.
That's right.
We're going to run our regular podcast after that interview. So those of you on YouTube Live, tune in probably tomorrow, and we'll have the other podcast.
The actual podcast, which will be the full array of sports. Tonight, it's all about Jamie.
All about
the chuck
Jamie,
wagons.
The chuck wagons. Excited. I'm excited. I'm going to ask him about how the horse sales went at Calgary and, why they choose Calgary as a venue to kind of retire, almost, you could say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why not a big stage, maybe?
I think because if they're invited, they want to, try and get that big cash one last time. And
it would make sense. It's a big check.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats to Jared Parsonage. I don't think we've had a show since he won it.
We haven't. It's been a while.
2 weeks.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people thought maybe we died.
I mean, we didn't.
No luck there.
We're still living through the drought.
Yeah. That terrible D word. The D word's as bad as the F word to me.
Tonight it is.
Maybe they go hand in hand. I don't know. DF or whatever. Right. And we all know what a DFer is. That's a totally another word. That's Justin Trudeau in a basket.
And you had to say his name.
Well, I did. So, but anyways, we will be going having a podcast after our interview here, so you can tune in for that tomorrow. And tonight on YouTube Live will be Jamie Laboucane. And please like and subscribe. It costs you nothing. Just subscribe, and anytime we have some new content, bang, it'll pop up and let you know, and hopefully you enjoy it. So it's been a wild ride. I believe the last show we had was kind of during Calgary. Calgary Stampede was going on. Local boy Jared Parsonage wins the bull riding, 50 Genos, which was nice. So maybe we could get Jared on as a sponsor or
That's
something.
right. The beers are on Jared.
Yeah, beers are on Jared. That would be good. So good for him. And actually 4 Canadian boys went home with checks in Calgary, which is totally cool. It's always nice to see that money stay in Canada and get taxed at 75%. Nothing. I mean, I'm just a taxpayer looking out for our best interests is all. So.
Oh, Tyson.
And Josh is in the background. His family's camping, so you'll notice we're in a bit of a different setting tonight. He got voted off the island, we'll say.
Yeah, pretty well.
And he got sent home. His brother said that he took too many days off from work, so now it's his turn to work and cover up, and probably he'll have to come back and straighten a bunch of stuff out that Josh did, but he's trying.
How about that lighting though? I just created this lighting, guys. That's where I went. You're wondering where the good looking guy went? I fixed the lighting.
Good looking guy.
Yeah, that's
We
what
have
I
one of those.
have 1.5 of those.
Oh, hey, that's the
You're
first
welcome.
time we've been called a half. That's good news.
You're welcome. Feeling generous.
But if I'm the half,
On the whole, baby.
Oh.
On the whole package.
Yeah.
Just talk to Meg and I'll give you your number later.
well, we'll phone her later. and
No,
see.
she's actually real busy. Out of service.
Yeah. No service in Cyprus.
Yeah, there's none.
How was your camping, by the way?
Okay, so it was great. We had good weather, no bugs, which was awesome. The kids had a
No
blast.
bugs. How is that possible?
I know it's crazy. I think it's too dry
It's a
even
different
for bugs
world,
to
though.
survive. Yeah, it is.
Different world.
It is. Other than at night, those little black friggin' buzzing beetles that come around.
Yeah.
Piss me off.
Well, they're probably flea beetles in your
They're
case.
like,
but,
little bastards. They're gross. They
Yeah,
just buzz around.
they're big
your head.
suckers.
Yeah. They only
Yeah,
come
they're
out at
tiny.
night. Yeah. They're brutal.
Well, other than for you, flea beetle.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Other than a flea beetle.
Your wife, she didn't put a dog collar on her.
Yeah. The barking call.
Actually, we got a little white powder in the back of your neck there.
Get out from that. Get away from there. So the camping was great. We had a great time. We don't have a trailer, so we tented, but honestly, the weather was perfect for it. We had a blast. We ate really good. I took a Traeger with me. They're still down there for till tomorrow.
I got a question to ask you.
I need more to do.
Yeah, I'm not a tenter. I've never tented with my family. So
Yeah.
let's say the wife's kind of in the mood.
Oh, you're in trouble.
And the kids are in the tent. Like, so where do you go with a situation like that?
That's one of those things, you take it back to Adam and Eve days and you head into the bush if you have to. I mean, I never got there. I mean, I never experienced
A
that.
Woody in the woods.
Yeah. Pajama boner in Cypress Hills, I guess.
Don't get a sliver. I was just curious,
I see that you're always curious.
First of all, I've never camped in a tent. And second of all, my wife's never asked for that. So
well, I've camped in a tent. Got one of those two things.
you're 50% there.
On the other half.
I've just heard rumors. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I hear a lot of rumors, but that one, never had to experience it. I don't have an answer for you.
I'll Google it later.
Yeah, okay. I have no answer for
Google
that.
has all the right answers,
Oh,
right?
don't they always? No, it was great. We had a great time. Like I said, it was just I got a little bored. So I'm kind of ADHD OCD guy, so I started making all sorts of kindling and doing all sorts of stuff. Now, if I could have, I cooked a ton. Yeah. If I could have had a buddy with me, or we could have went maybe golf once in the morning and the evening.
Yeah.
I'd go camping every
So
day.
you're
of my
saying
life.
you have no friends?
But no, I don't. I had to beg people. I had different 3 people golfing with me both nights.
Are you that good or that bad?
But
I would like to.
I did win both nights.
Breaking news.
I did win both nights. Now, whether it was pure bitchy luck, I don't know. But first night was
Did you win like the Calgary Flames? Ugly and
Yeah.
not frequent?
they were yes. So
Okay.
this weekend you'd call it
I'm
a
glad you
streak,
knew what that
but,
Calgary
yeah,
Flames win is.
I definitely am more like a Flames when it comes to golf. It didn't look pretty,
You were a
but I
mucker.
won the game. Yeah, I was in the
Little-
corner mucking it
yeah.
up.
Body contact.
I did cheat a little. I
Yeah,
did.
so you're a Nosm cadre of golf.
Oh no, don't you dare! You call me a Dion Phaneuf or you call me that? You
Oh no,
bastard.
you're not a Fanoof.
Yeah, well, I'd rather
You're
be
not near as tall.
That's true. I'm shorter than whatever his name is.
We'll bring a jockey into it. No, never mind. You're way too heavy for a jockey. I
That's
take that back.
exactly.
What could you
Break
be?
or
Like,
spell.
a midget wrestler. There we go.
I could be. You know what? There's a few things that I could.
You got
probably
the,
be
you
good
got the look.
at.
If you'd like take that hair off the top, maybe do a little face painting. You'd make a hell of a midget
I
wrestler.
think I would do well in the WWF, WWE, WCW,
Like
as like the little guy that's in the Royal Rumbles. You know, they just throw him in there, and it's
the World Wildlife Federation.
yeah, whatever you want to call it. I mean, no, that's not what I'm getting at. Me and The Rock, we go in, he's
Oh,
up here,
yeah.
I'm down there, and he just throws me at people. I'm basically his launching pad.
Well, hey, that's you got.
If that's what it is, that's what it is. I'll take it.
For whatever he's paying, I'm thinking I'd be.
Yeah,
available
if
too.
he's, I'll let him throw me around.
Yeah, so we got a lot of great shows coming ahead. We're working on a Rough Rider. We're
Yes,
working
sir.
on a country singer. Maybe we can do a Rough Rider country singing combo thing. I don't know.
Maybe make the Rough Rider sing country songs.
Yeah, and I'm working on the current Rough Rider as well.
Oh, I like it.
Been sending the
Not
have been
Dickie, is it?
podcasting. Huh?
Is it the coach?
No, I don't like him.
He's not welcome on this show.
No, we haven't been podcasting, but boy, I've been messaging
I
shit
knew it.
out like.
Between Pornhub and messages, this
Yeah,
guy's.
I
just
wish
a-
those playmates wouldn't message
They
back.
never respond. All I get is
They
viruses
always
on my
respond,
computer.
yeah. Yeah, my computer needs a shot of penicillin now.
Mike, I got it back. It's barely working.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on.
It's kind of got like some rash around the camera.
Yeah,
I
man,
don't
it's
know.
in rough shape. It's got a dent. I don't know what happened.
Oh, it was a crazy.
Yeah,
I
the
went to-
wild.
I
Because you
went-
were camping too.
Yeah, I was camping too, but I did not take it. It was it stayed at home.
Stayed at home,
Yeah,
yeah. And
I
how
could've.
how was your camp?
it was excellent. It was nice to get away.
Yeah.
I was gone.
Get
a
your
week.
mind off this.
Yeah, granddaughter and my daughter and son-in-law came down for a couple days, and then it was just me and mama, and met some great people.
Awesome.
Like I was talking about our neighbors, so yeah, they were great people, and in fact, I got to send some pictures. They noticed Peyton was wearing the swag.
Oh yeah.
Sold them some swag. I got
No
to send some
way.
pictures. Yeah, they loved the
Awesome.
swag, and they were going to tune into the podcast there and check that out.
That's so cool.
Said they promote the hell out of it in Calgary, so that's awesome. And
That's awesome.
met another gentleman from Gravelburg, a farmer, just
Happy as you.
well. Yeah, he's just as happy as
Yeah.
me.
Because they
Crop.
don't have nice stuff down
No,
there.
terrible crops too. He said there's about a stretch right around Gravelburg where there's about a mile wide by 3 miles long, where they did get like a thunderstorm. Looks a little better.
A mile by 3 miles.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
eh?
yeah.
So that one farmer who's got land there's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, let's see if we're gonna
And he
survive.
had the land there, so
Oh, well.
but he farms like 13,000
Yeah.
acres.
So that's enough for his seed. That's
yeah,
it.
that's about it. Yeah. So, but he's kind of an interesting fella too, because he's into these probiotic nutrients and all that kind of stuff. So picking his brain about that, and
Absolutely.
this all happened over a couple beers, so that was
That's the
great.
Best way.
And he brought some ribs over, him and his family. So he was with a friend, and his friend actually, I think it was his father-in-law, was the vice president of GM Canada, and he was camping down from us too. So
No way.
yeah.
Super cool.
So they had a real neat thing. Him and his friend and a few others, they had a rib cook-off while they were camping.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he brought his ribs over and gave me a taste. And
Were they awesome?
yes, they were awesome, and he actually did win.
Hey,
You know,
winner,
That
winner.
was all right. So got to meet a lot of great people. Like
It's probably the coolest part about camping. Is
Yeah.
You walk and all of a sudden you're at the park, someone else is a kid, your kid's age, you start visiting and you got something in common or they,
yeah.
it's-
Well, sometimes it just works out that sites are close, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, they are. Especially around here. If you haven't camped in like Saskatchewan,
Yeah.
that's the busiest thing to do in the summer is camp. And those sites are back to back to back
you
to back.
betcha.
Yeah.
I really don't like close sites, but was very thankful that I had them this
But
time.
it's hard to get them anymore
Yeah.
that aren't. Even in
Yeah.
Cyprus, I noticed a few that used to be separated.
Yeah.
They're not anymore. There is
No.
one jammed and they took a couple
Yeah.
trees out
Well,
and there's
it's
this
money.
site.
It's
Yeah,
money.
that's right.
So anyways, they go at the same time every year, and they're there for a couple weeks from Calgary, and they meet friends out there in camp, and so
Wicked.
hopefully we can catch
Cross
them up.
paths again.
And he did say if we're in Calgary to give him a dingle, and we'll hook up for some beers, which is
I like beer.
I mean I don't drink beer very often, so you know.
I don't even like it. I just do it when I have to. I mean, it's
You think some chuck wagon drivers drink beer after the?
I
We're gonna
highly
ask
doubt.
that tonight.
I don't think they
Like, do they drink and drive? Is that
I guarantee you that they do not drink. before
maybe?
they
Maybe. Well, what if they're on the nervous side of things? You know, and and they get to, it calms them down.
I could see
You
them
think it-
smoking a joint before I could see them grabbing a beer.
Would they give like little beer in with the horses with their barley?
No, those athletes.
A
Those
little-
are athletes.
A little neigh with the hay?
Yeah, I don't think so. Nope. I gotta
What
say
if,
no.
what if they're nervous? Like, geez.
I don't know. Massage it? Maybe give them a girlfriend. I don't know. I don't think a beer's the right answer for an athlete,
Well, I don't know.
unless you're a beer league hockey player.
John Daly did it.
Going to John
Probably
Daly
the
this
best.
weekend at the Open, drinking beers, teeing off with a cigarette hanging out his
Well, that's
belt,
what I'm saying.
and wearing Hooters pants. That he was controversial over, and he had a hell of a round.
Yeah.
John Daly's my boy.
Yeah. Oh, and I was gonna mention Austin and Peyton were down too at camping, and
Yeah, I saw their pictures.
yeah, Austin got a little carried away with Brett one night, drinking and smoking, and
Can't imagine that happened.
you know, Peyton didn't hardly get him out of the park, and they were stopping already. A little,
Just to see the crop.
yeah, he was crop adjusting.
Yeah. Mouth first.
Yeah. I don't know how his shoes got dirty, but you know, that's part of the game.
Austin. Just
Smoking cigars. I said to Tara, I said, like,
He's never happened with me.
you know, all you'd have to do is ask that dude likes. I said, I don't know whose child that is, but I don't think he's mine.
I think he's yours.
And Peyton, poor Peyton had to work the next day, so he had to behave,
Well,
and he was
perfect for Austin.
Austin's
Then.
driver. And then about 1:30, Mom checks and snap the map, and they're at McDonald's drive-through in Swift Current.
Yeah, well, the only way to fix a cigar and whiskey hangover is a little grease.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't seem to help him, but
No.
whoever has it.
He was still a little sick. Wasn't he?
It seems like
Weird.
Yeah,
That's weird.
yeah. You wouldn't think.
No, I mean cigars and alcohol. That's what makes me feel better.
So those just tuning in, momentarily we will be getting Jamie Laboucane on the old YouTube live. So stay tuned for that. We're going to talk a little chuck wagon. As you can see, like, we're chuck wagon fanatics, and
He's a fanatic, and I am a beginner amateur
You know
that
what?
just loves it.
I have had so many texts, so many messages of people, like, I have never watched the wagons until our first interview with Chance. And then everyone kind of took off. Yeah,
I never
you
watched
took-
it till you took me to meet him.
Yeah, it took you to meet him, and then they kind of watched Medicine Hat and Calgary, and now, like, they're like texting, we're hooked. Like, we listen to the races on the radio. Lots of people have subscribed on the WPCA site, so you can watch the races, and it's great.
The brand itself, WPCA, actually.
Yeah,
which is super
WPCA.
cool.
$99, and you get you don't get High River. I found that out because I was on my
Okay.
computer.
That's one that's not on there.
that is, they maybe aren't equipped. I don't know what. they're
Probably.
doing.
That's
Yeah.
probably exactly it.
But anyways, I was on there and I was, checking it out.
And so that's where they're at right now, correct, Tyson?
Correct. They're at High
So
River. Battle of the.
Where's Jamie at right now?
Jamie will be right in High River right now. They stay there.
And where's he ranked right now at the number
So-
one?
And we will bring this up to Jamie. So this is a little fun fact here. Every time, and we've only done this twice, but when I've contacted a wagon driver and I kind of keep in contact with them,
They just keep winning.
they keep winning. It's something with the fans' perspective. Talk to Jamie going into
Don't
High
text
River.
me, just text him.
Yeah, talk to Jamie
Yeah.
going into High River, and he kills it. Like, he's number one. So
Unreal.
I mean, we're as good as a good
Yeah,
horse.
I mean, you're basically a good luck charm.
We're basically a good horse.
I
don't know.
Phony.
I'm the wheeler, you're the healer.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I think it's bullshit, but
Oh.
I think it's how it goes. It's just we're a couple of good guys, and when we become part of your life gets good. And I think Jamie is about to join us.
Hey, Jamie, how's it going?
He's probably momentarily. I don't know what kind of internet service they'll have down in High River, because he's probably by the barns, or who knows where he's at.
Yeah, who knows?
But,
There we go.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, sorry, having problems with my internet.
Oh, no problem. We got your voice. We don't have your camera yet, but we can definitely hear
We
you.
can hear you.
Perfect. I'm working on it. I'm working. Oh, hang on.
Oh,
there we
there
go.
you are.
Hey.
Oh shit! You look much better before. You gotta turn that off.
Yeah, no step. I should have just listened to me instead of looked at me. But oh well, here I am.
Well, hey, I've always been told I had a voice for radio, not a face for TV. So thanks
That's
for
why my
joining.
wife always makes me wear a paper bag, I guess.
Well, thanks for joining the show. It's an honor to have you on, and we've been super excited to get you on here. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks for having me. I feel very honored. Pretty new to this association, so must be doing something right.
Yeah, well, we're going to get into that. So you were a CPCA driver. This is your first year in the WPCA. So tell us kind of the differences and what made you do the switch over to the WPCA.
Well, wagon racing's wagon racing, in my opinion. I mean, honestly, lots of the top guys, they could run over here and do well too. But on a whole, there's a lot more top guys over here. You're not dealing with 5 to 8. You're dealing with 20 plus drivers that can crack the top 5 to top 10 to day monies any given day. So I mean, that's the biggest difference for me as far as the racing goes. So it makes you a lot more competitive. You can't have those second string horses that aren't at the top of their game. You need top end horses right through your barn, and an outfit that I maybe could place in the top 5 in the CPCA. I might be 15th to 20th on any given day with that same outfit. So that made me really shorten up my barn, make some switches, and finally halfway through the season, I made a purchase at Cody McCurr's sale that made my second outfit, just a little bit, crisper in the barrels. The run was there, but I just didn't have that turn. So, that was probably the biggest thing. And as far as making the switch, I've kind of wanted to do it for a while, but the stars had to align. I mean, I had great sponsors over in the CPCA, and I grew up there, so it was kind of my home. But the last few years with COVID and everything like that, sponsors were kind of, things were changing, and I had to make a change, financially in a business sense. And the wife had work, and they were willing to work with her working on the road out of the camper. So talked to a few sponsors. They were on board, and with me, I don't do anything half-assed. I dive in head first. So I didn't even bother, keeping 2 feet, a foot in each pond. I threw my hat in the ring, and I came to play, and it's worked out so far.
Well, you certainly did come to play. Medicine Hat Stampede champion. High River, where you're presently at, you're number 1 after the first weekend. So there's no playing around there. You mean business, and man, are you running fast?
Yeah, honestly, that top outfit, they're pretty much the same horses I ran last year. I stuck in 1 new left wheeler, but the only difference on that is they're standing better. Last year they were a little bit more false starty with him on there. I don't know if he's just got a calming presence. His name's Marshmallow, so maybe that's why. He doesn't act like a marshmallow, but he that's his name. My daughter named him, if you're wondering.
I like it.
So I've always been a chuck wagon fan, Jamie. What's it feel like when you're in that wagon and you're sitting at the barrels and that horn goes? Take us into that wagon and just what does that feel like?
Oh, it's an incredible feeling. I don't know. I'm a kind of an adrenaline junkie, I guess. So, that anticipation. Some drivers say they don't get nervous, and I don't believe that. I mean, if you're not getting nervous, you're not doing it right. You shouldn't be driving. I mean, you need that edge, you need that excitement. And, you get in there, and the trick is, in my opinion, you got to stay calm. You got to stay focused. You have to have, your right mindset. But after that horn goes, it's a combination of skill, experience, and being able to handle that adrenaline and that charge to really keep yourself calm and focused while also releasing that energy, like letting her fly and keeping things rolling. So it's like anything else. That horn goes, those horses pop, and after that, it's just a controlled runaway, and it's your job as a driver just steer them, just not oversteer them, not understeer them, but keep them going in that direction that you want to go and let them be horses. And when you hit that, I think the biggest thing is when you get out of those barrels and you know you're clean and you know you're going to have a good run, then it's just a rush of, okay, let's keep these horses lined out. Let's, run that perfect line and try to be as fast as we can.
Yeah. So I got a question for you, Jamie. You got Pinoka with 4 barrels, High River with 4 barrels, and Calgary and the rest, I believe, are all at 3 barrels, right, on the track?
Well, no, the only races that we run with 3 barrels is Medicine Hat and Dewberry.
Okay, okay.
The rest are all 4 barrels. So
and Calgary this year, right?
And Calgary the last 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Used to be 4.
Yeah. So what is your preference, or what are your thoughts on 3 versus 4 barrels when you're going into it?
I personally like 4. I like the extra wagon out there. I like the competition. It really works well when you're rotating outfits through barrels and stuff like that. Being in the CPCA prior to this, I ran a lot of 3 wagon heats too, and a lot of our shows over there.
Yeah.
So it's not new to me. Like, I know how to rotate outfits through it. I know how to run. I know how to win off a 3 wagon show. Obviously in Medicine Hat, I did that. But I find it a lot funner. Like, we went here in High River, we ran the same outfit off of 3 and 4, had great runs, and then switched up and went another outfit off of 1, and we'll run the same outfit off of 2. So we got to rotate the outfits through, and you get a lot more chances to play with horses and combinations. I always tell people it's driving is not just driving. You're also a coach, eh? If you're playing hockey or football, makes your job a lot easier if you can pick the right horses for the right positions. And it's a real puzzle. It's a real game of chess. And sometimes it works for a while, and sometimes it keeps working for a long time. But it's a real game.
Yeah, and a lot of strategizing going into it too. I'm sure when you're maybe in the lead and you draw a certain barrel, and who you're going to hitch that night, and did they run the night before, or how often have they run lately, and all kinds of things. So you're a coach, a strategist, and a driver all at once, and let's not forget a barn manager too. So
barn manager, trainer, that's all part of the game. And I mean, injuries play a factor. And even in Calgary this year, I did, decently well, but had a few key injuries into my lineup, and I had to do a lot of rotation. I had to take my 3-4 barrel right-hand leader and put them on my 1-2 barrel, and that worked great. But then that kind of messed up my 3-4 barrel outfit, so had to throw different stuff in there and kind of struggled through that. But that's all part of it, and that's where the driving really comes into play when you're not running those familiar horses or those lineups that you ran 10 or 20 times together. Then it takes a lot more driving and safetying up and strategy to get through them. And that's where I struggled a little bit towards the end of Calgary. Just ran out of some of those key horses, but coming out of Calgary, lots of those horses are coming back. You got them sounded up, just like any player, any NHL hockey team, football team, getting some of those key players back, and it showed in my barn. That's what's happening right now, and you just ride it out while you can, because things can change at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, and injuries that play a huge role, and weather as well, as we've seen on what was it, Heat 9 in Calgary there, or Day 9, when the weather came in halfway through, and man, that's a game changer as well. So
that was unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I've been in that position, not at Calgary, but it happened in Pinoka quite a few years ago, where lots of those guys from the first few heats got into the dash and stuff because big rainstorm hit, and the same thing happened in Calgary this year. And I feel bad for those guys that ran at the top right till the end, and then that storm hit. It was a tough one, but at the end of the day, that's life. Life isn't always fair. So the guys just got to roll with it. I was in those heat. I was out of it, so maybe it's a little easier for me to take, but it was not fun. I'll tell you that much. It's hard to see, and you're just Almost driving by Braille, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm a Saskatchewan farmer, so I usually have a bone to pick with Mother Nature as well. So I can relate to that. So you're a Saskatchewan boy. That's super exciting. But your dad was Brian, so you've kind of been around chuck wagon your whole life. But when did you first realize that, hey, this is something I might want to do?
Well, it's funny you say that. When you're a wagon kid, you grow up in this. You're sitting on the wagon seat with twines in your hands, pretending to race wagons. You're running around on bikes, pretending. So, probably my whole life, I knew I wanted to do it. But that fire doesn't always remain. As you get older, as you become an adult, you get different interests. Sometimes girls get in the way.
Always.
No,
Oh my God.
no.
But for me, I know I was always involved in it. I always loved it. I started out riding at a very young age. I started when I was 15 years old, so really got the bug then. And I think my first year I was driving when I was 19. So I've been in this sport my whole life. And my buddy Ryan Priest, for example, he was in the sport. He started driving when he was 16, and he loved it. Couldn't imagine doing anything else. But by the time he hit, I don't know, in his 20s, he was done. He just didn't have that fire anymore. So it's a tough sport. Like, it's a lot of hard work. It's long days, for very little pay, like that prayer goes, and you got to love it. You got to want to do it. And I always have. Like, I know during COVID there, when everything shut down, that was the first year of my whole life where I never raced wagons. I went to the lake, and it was a good break. Good change of pace, but by the end of that summer, I knew, I'm not done. I'm ready to come back.
Yeah. So if you could go back in time, your age now, what would you tell your younger self? What piece of advice would you give your younger self about what you've learned over the years in driving? It's tough question, but
we talk about this a lot lately. Is remember to have fun. It's lots of times you get caught up in, the competition and the nerves and wanting to do well. But I always, my wife always rides with me in the wagon. And right when we're driving into the barrel for the practice turn, I look at her and go, let's go have some fun. And I don't know what it is. It's a mindset, but it helps. It just reminds you that, hey, you're not just here to compete. You're also here to have fun. And you still keep your focus, your competitive edge. But I think that little piece of advice really helped me relax over the last few years. Helped me turn a corner.
Yeah. And how important is it to have her there? Like, your wife, your best friend, she probably spends more hours of the day with you than anybody else. And she's in the practice runs, and you get one last chat with her before the race is on.
Oh, it's great. She's a real calming presence in my life. My best friend, like you said, and I don't know what it is, but whenever one or the other is having a bad time, we're always the voice of reason, and she always calms me. And she doesn't say a lot when I'm running, but that's enough. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. And does she give you a little advice along the way, like going into a race, or she just like, Jamie's got this, I'll talk to him after?
Oh no, she doesn't really give me much advice. She trusts me, trusts my driving. But most of the time it's just, says a joke or something to take my mind off of things, or tells me what's going on behind me if a driver's coming in slow or fast. But she's a very quiet person for when it comes to that. But she lets me drive, and no backstreet driving from her, I guess.
So after the race,
not there.
Yeah, after the race, you're all done. Anything? Take us back to the barn. What do you do with the horses, and what happens back at the barn after you're done for the night? A race.
Well, basically, we bring our horses back to the barn. We unhook them, bring them back into the barn, pull the harness off. Then we kick them out in the pen right away. Let them drink, let them run around, kind of cool out. And then after that, give them a good half hour or so. Bring them back in, give them a bath, put them back in the barn, and then mud legs, keep everything cool. Depending on the day, if it's too hot, we won't blanket them. But if it's a little cooler at night, we'll blanket them, get them loosened out. You know, they'll have their mash and their hay and top water, and just try to keep a good routine for them and keep them feeling good.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that I've heard from fans at home who watch our show and stuff is the amount of hours you guys put in with those animals. You're up at the crack of dawn, you're up with them late at night, and the animals are really the rock stars, and you're taking tremendous care of them.
Yeah, I mean, we get up. I get up at around 6 a.m. and usually feed right around 6:30 or so. Then we go all morning till right about dinner time. We're cleaning stalls. We're taking care of legs. We're feeding, watering, treating, and then we might have a hook to blow out in the morning and stuff like that too as well. And then at dinner, then we try to leave them for a good 4 hours. Just leave them in the barn, let them be horses, let them relax. Then 4 o'clock, we'll kick them out and clean one side and then put that side in at 5 and kick out the other side, do the same. Then we'll wash horses again, get everything prepped and set for the day. And then we don't start harnessing and stuff till just before, after the third heat usually, because we've been in the last few heats, so we don't harness too early. And there's lots of other little things that we do out through the day, but we're not usually done our night till 11, 12 at night when everything's said and done.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's quite a schedule, and I think that's the biggest surprise. People don't really, they see you come out and you run your race, but they don't really understand the amount of work that goes with that one race.
Yeah, and that's why we need wagon naps too,
eh? So now Calgary, 10 days. You got it. That's got to be one heck of a wearing 10 days of racing every night for 10 nights.
It's been a big push right from Medicine Hat. We went and raced there 4 days. We had 1 day to get to Ponoka, and then we raced 6 there. And then we had to go right to Calgary, and then another. Well, we're there for 14 days, because we're there. Yeah. I was there Tuesday and weren't done till the following Sunday, not the initial Sunday. So that's a lot of days. And then it was nice to get here, to get to High River. We didn't have turnout pens in Calgary, so we built great big pens for these horses and let them just get out in the pens and play and be horses. And it's almost nerve-wracking for a while because they're just ripping around and you're like, oh God, don't hurt yourself. But it's been nice just to race 3 days here, or get a nice little break again and back at it this weekend.
Yeah. So what was the actual reasoning for splitting up High River? Do you know, for 2 consecutive weekends versus like just running 6 nights straight, or?
Well, I wasn't on the board and I didn't really talk to the exact nuances. I know they did this back in 2021 during or when Calgary would have been, when Calgary decided not to have us. But I think what happened was we had an open weekend. I'm not sure. I can't remember if it was right after Calgary or the following weekend. But they went back to High River and said, hey, like, we got this open weekend. Do we want to do this again? And I guess they decided to go ahead with it. So great support here. This is a great wagon town. I mean, there's tons of wagon people that are from around here. So I'm not surprised. I mean, Glasses, Fikes, even Chance Flat, he just lives up the road. So I'm not surprised that, as far as wagon communities go, that this is a great one.
Yeah. And are you enjoying like the split weekend, so you get a little more training time in, a little more relaxed during the week?
Yeah, like I said, it was a big push right through Medicine Hat, Ponoka, Calgary. So it was great to, have this little break here. Once we get back into, Strathmore, and that, it's nice to just, go right through the whole schedule one after another and rotate your outfits and get it done. But it's definitely a much needed break right after that big Calgary push.
Yeah. So you're in High River now. You're coming to us from your camper, or where are you situated at?
Yeah, we're right in the back of the camper here. This is my house for the summer, and Yeah, it's been good. It's been a change, but we're following into it. It's
Is there beer in the fridge?
they're not in the fridge, but there is beer in the cooler.
Good man. I wanted to
We
get
got-
into that.
It's a great cooler. Great cooler.
Not the cooler so much, but do you ever take the time to actually have a beer, or is it constant focus? Like, I just think like athletes sometimes are just like, nope, not till the race is done on Sunday or whenever. Is there ever a night where you just got to sit down? You're like, shit, you crack a beer, throw the feet up, and it's got to happen, man. Is that?
Oh, absolutely. We like to have at least 1 to 2 to 3 beer a night after the races. We don't drink before the races, obviously.
Hey,
No drinking and driving, eh?
hey,
Absolutely not. But I'm not gonna lie, we like to have a few cold ones right after the races
Absolutely.
are all over and the work is done. We like to have a few, and what's funny? I'm a wagon fan too, so we go in the camper after the races and have a beer and have some snacks and watch the races, just because we never got to watch them during the races. So that's our fun for the night.
So do you ever get home, like when you leave for wagon racing, first race of the season? Do you ever get back home, or are you on the road until the season's over?
Yeah, so we pretty fortunate coming out of we went to Grand Prairie straight to Bonnyville, but in Bonnyville I went home right after the last day. Spent can't remember 2 or 3 days there, and then went to Dewberry, and I went home right after the last day of Dewberry. But only spent 1 day at home. We packed up all the feed we could and went straight to Medicine Hat. And I won't be back home till the end of Balzac there. Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
And I did a little research on you today, and you are a heavy duty mechanic, 4 Diamond Mechanical. I believe you own and operate. Is that correct?
Well, I'm a journeyman heavy duty truck mechanic. Truck and trailer, I guess. I got my red seal, interprovincial. I kind of do that off and on. I got a buddy back home that's always bugging me to come help him out. But I'm mostly a rancher. We got about 250 to 60 head of cattle any given year.
Okay.
Between my mom and dad and my wife and me. I'm also a equine horse dentist, so I do a little bit of that on the side. I do a little bit of welding on the side, and then my wife too, Dana. She works for Synovus, so she's an oil patch, doing procurement with that. So, and besides that, I coach hockey in the winter with my kids, and it's a busy life, man. It's real busy.
That's great. And why would you want it any other way? I mean, you sounds like you're involved with your family, and obviously they're involved heavily with your racing as well, because they're with you the whole time. And how many guys would you carry like in your barn here for most of the summer? How many guys you got with you?
Like you're talking help?
Yeah, help wise. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I obviously my wife, my 2 kids, my mom and dad go down the road with me most of the time. Dad's at home haying right now, making hay. And then we got a young kid. He's 12 years old. His name's Cage Miazga. He's just he's worked for us for the last 2 years now, and he's great. He went home for a little vacay here after Calgary. He'll be back though before the start of Friday here.
And where's home for him?
Lloydminster. Yeah.
I actually met somebody last weekend that knows him.
Oh yeah. He's quite the kid. I've never met a 12-year-old with a work ethic like him.
And loves what you do. That's crazy. They told me he's on the tour with one of the best chuck wagon racers, but they couldn't think of the guy's name. And I was like,
the darn
well, probably that too. But I was up there cooking at a private event for a buddy who owns a clothing brand, and he said one of our good friends, their kid, goes with one of the chuck wagon racers, and he's one of the best. I was like, that's crazy. I was like, I had one of them on the show earlier, and I think we have another one coming, but that's crazy that's you.
Yeah. And then we had another girl that actually worked for us all last year, and she worked with us right up to the end of Calgary. Great person. But she's moving on. She had another job come up, and actually my niece Shay, she's coming on to finish up the last half of the season, I guess. Shay Carey, BJ Carey, who used to race wagon, that's his daughter.
Okay, Yeah.
my sister Kim. So she's gonna come and finish out the rest of the season for us. So that's kind of our crew, and we got people that come and go, like Joe Miasga, Cage's dad. He likes to come back and help when he can. They came and helped for the last part of the season, for last half of Calgary, and they were at a couple other shows and stuff. They'd come a lot more, like Ashley and yeah, the whole family. They like to come out and help. And my brother-in-law and my sister have come out and helped during Calgary and at a couple different shows. So I got some other people that come and go, but those other ones are my main crew for sure.
Yeah. And what do you like to keep? About 4 guys around helping you at all times?
Just two, basically. Like
Okay.
me and the 2 help. Dana comes when she can, but she's working during the week and stuff. My mom does a lot of the breakfasts and suppers and stuff like that. Dana does as well, but they kind of split it up when she's working. And then my dad obviously comes and likes to help chores and help coach and stuff like that. He has 46 years of experience, so I like to lean on him a little bit for some of the decision making when it comes to the horses. And
Yeah.
that's kind of our main crew.
Oh, I'm sure your dad still loves it. Like they say, you could take the boy from the game, but you can't take the game from the boy.
Oh no, like he doesn't want to drive anymore. He's past that, but he loves the sport. Just like Buddy Bensmiller, like you see him around here helping coach all the boys too. And
Yeah.
not everybody wants to do that. Not everyone wants to be around, and some guys don't want to listen. But I'm more than happy to take advice when you got that kind of experience behind you.
Well, my hats go off to you, because you talk about these greats and these legends, and here you are letting a young man probably live out his dream, coming under your wing there and getting to experience what the wagons are all about. And hats off to you for doing that. Like probably, that kid, you can't put into words what that actually means to him. So.
Oh, he's a great kid, and I'm just lucky to have him. Honestly, there's not many kids out there that would want to work this hard or put in this many hours. So it's pretty easy to give somebody a chance like that when they're willing to put in the work and are happy to doing it. Because like I said, you don't do this sport because it's a great pay and you slug through it. You do it because you love it, because otherwise it's not worth it.
Yeah, for sure. So you won the Calgary Stampede as an outrider in 2009, riding for Chad Harden. You were also an aggregate outrider champ in 2010 for Neil Walgenbaugh. So you know all about the outriding and how important those guys are for the wagon. So take us a bit down that path, and that's probably how you got started in the wagon racing anyways, was outriding. And what kind of importance do they play in the race itself, having guys that are dependable and can do the job?
Oh, it's huge. I've been very fortunate over my career, but I also took a lot of lessons from what I learned when I was outriding. What kind of driver do I want to be when it comes to my outriders? And the answer was pretty simple. I want to have the best horses I possibly can. I want to treat the boys with respect and give them the chance to succeed. Let them make some choices on which horses they're riding on which barrels. Once they know the horses, pay them decent and give them a chance to succeed. And that's kind of been my model when it comes to outriding, because I started when I was 15 years old, like I said, and I was probably too small and not strong enough to be really good. But it took a few years, but we finally got her done, and we went to Chad Harden there. That was a great time. We were on the 4 barrel. I didn't think there was any chance that we were going to win, and all of a sudden Mark has his pull out, and we come back, the barrels come off the 4. Chad goes too wide, finished second behind Mark, and we win it. So that's wagon racing. You never know what's going to happen. And then the next year, and that was the last year that they had 4 outriders in Calgary. So I was very fortunate to be a part of that as well. One of Neil Walgenbaugh's last few years racing, and he strung together a great 9 days and pulled off that one. And I was lucky enough to be a part of that. And Actually, I was the first recipient of the most outstanding outrider award that year. So I did everything I wanted to do as an outrider. And, back in 2013, I blew out my knee, and that was the last time I rode. It was Onion Lake just before Calgary. I got kicked in the side of the knee when I got home after we unloaded the horses, and blew out my knee, grade 3 tear to my ACL and MCL. And that ended my actually driving career for the summer too. I blew out my knees to the point where I drove the first night in Calgary, seeing the sports meds people. They grabbed my knee and it went shook. And he's like, "You shouldn't be walking on this, much less driving." And I'm like, "Well, I drove last night. What's the problem?" So they sent me for, an MRI and an X-ray that day. Like I was 1:00. By 4:00, I had my results, and they're like, "No, you're done." And that was the end of my race season. My wagon went for the rest of the season, and that was kind of a cool story too. Doug Irvine went and drove my wagon at the Calgary Stampede that year for me, outran his own outfit, and got me into the semifinals. And there's not many sports where, a fellow competitor would come in and outrace themselves. So that just shows how close the wagon community can be.
Yeah, and that's something we noticed being back at the barns, and you guys are you're a family within a family, and you kind of rooting for one another out there. And I mean, it takes everyone to make this whole, whether you're in the CPCA or the WPCA, it takes everyone there to make this whole thing a success. So.
We're not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you it's all peaches and biscuits and tea and jam. But, at the end of the day, if chips are down and you need a hand, everybody here would help you out. So that's always a good thing, and everybody might have, competition and, be mad at somebody for a while, but you get over it, you move on, and you just try to, it's too long. It's too short of a life to be mad at everybody all the time. So people get over it pretty quickly, and you got it when you're living together this long all summer.
Well, and that's the greatest part about sports. It's competition. There's intensity, and that's gonna come out when that's all involved. And I mean, you're racing for money as well, so that is gonna bring out some heated exchanges from now and. Then it's kind of like Calgary and Edmonton playing and hockey. But are you much of a sports fan? Do you follow any of the sports or?
Oh yeah, I'm a pretty big NFL guy.
Okay.
I like watching NFL football. I also follow NHL a little bit. I not as much as I used to, but pretty big Edmonton Oilers fan, I guess.
Hallelujah, brother.
You poor bastard. I'm sorry about that.
I knew I liked him.
and I am a Riders fan. I don't watch it as much as I should.
God bless you.
So what do you think about? I'm going to ask you two questions.
Don't bring up the Riders. We do not need to speak about the Riders.
I don't ask you about the Riders because I know nothing about them this year.
There's nothing to know. They are it again. Their quarterback's toast. Life is terrible.
They lost their quarterback last week, so that's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
That's fair.
Yeah, Edmonton Oilers. We were close, lost to Vegas in the second round. Yeah. What do you think we need? Are we close? Like, I think we're very close.
We're very close. Like the goaltending was decent this year. Skinner, I think he's the answer. I don't know if he is like a full-time starter answer yet. But I think we need something a little stronger there. Our offense was unbelievable this year. The way that, you got McDavid, you got Draisaitl. I mean, there's so many good players on offense. I think maybe we need to tie up our D-line, but, I think we were close last year. I don't know exactly what 100% went wrong, but, I do believe that Vegas and Edmonton were the two, toughest teams in the league come playoff time. And I think they just met at the wrong time. I think those two should have been in for the Stanley Cup Finals, because Vegas left after Edmonton and just walked over everybody and just showed how good they were. But, I don't know, maybe defense, maybe just need one or two more better defensemen.
I thought Vegas maybe had just a wee more bit depth at the bottom end, actually. Like lines 3 and 4, I think they were just a little bit stronger than us. And goaltending, wow, their goalie stood in his head like he came from
Well,
nowhere.
oh man, what's their backup's name there that came in? I mean, I thought, when their other starter got, I'm like, oh, we got a shot here. No,
Yeah.
oh man,
That was
he
goalie
played
number
unreal,
5.
Unreal.
Yeah, what
From
was
the
his name?
start of this, Aiden Hill.
Aiden Hill.
From the start
Hill.
of the season, that's their 5th starter, number 5. Like, that's absurd. Never has that ever happened. From
No.
game 1 to the Stanley Cup Finals, that was their 5th starting goalie. Like, that's crazy.
And he played like at a playoff level. Like to have a a goalie like that come in and play that well at a playoff level, that is unreal.
And now he's going to get paid. Well, he did. He got paid
Yep.
big. And who knows if he's actually going to do that ever again. But that one playoff run set him up.
So
Well-
does that happen in Chuck Wagons, Jamie? Do you get ever to be a free agent and sign that big contract at all? Or
Well, honestly, we've talked about this. I've had outfits, all of a sudden, let's just say at the end of the season that one year, I had this outfit come together and they were unreal. The last half of the season, I was just dynamite. I was off any barrel. It didn't matter. I was taking day monies, out turning guys. And I thought, holy man, I got something here. Went off the off season, came back in, and that outfit was never the same again. They never came back. I was hitting barrels. I was running slow. It just, sometimes that happens. You put stuff together and it works one year, and the next year you just got nothing left.
yeah. So after the final race, season's over. Do you immediately start working on next year, looking for horses and things like that, or you take a little bit of time and just take it all in first?
I usually take a little bit of time. We get home, we kick the horses out, like pull shoes, trim, kick all the horses out, let them be horses. And I usually take a week or two, go to the lake and kind of, recover, reset. And then after that, there's usually, during the fall, towards the end of, Century Miles season, we try to pick up a few there if we can. And then I actually, my parents are not retired, but semi-retired. So they go down to Phoenix usually January and spend a month or two down there. So I just send a budget down with Dad and say, here, take this money, buy as many horses as you can. So he likes that. He goes down there and hangs out at the racetrack and, buys me 6 or 7 head. And then once they're all bought, then I'll run down with the horse trailer and spend a day or two down with them, and then bring them back home. And that's kind of where I've had a lot of success the last few seasons is I got these young, good horses out of Phoenix, and it shows. They're a better class of horses. They're running big for me, and a huge shout out to him for being my scout to go down there. Not many guys can utilize that.
Yeah, your dad may have the greatest job in the world. Like he gets a check, he gets to do what he loves, and at the end of the day, it doesn't cost him a thing. Like, what a great job.
Yeah, and he's not stuck up here. He's down there, for God's
Yeah.
sake.
Well, I can't complain. I wish I had the time to go down there and spend a month or two, but unfortunately, I got kids and jobs and work to do. So I guess it's a good deal for me. So I can't complain.
You know what? Maybe 15, 20 years down the road, maybe that's your job, and your kids maybe will be where you're at. Who knows?
Who knows? I don't know. I'd be all right with that.
I know you would.
Yeah. I know it's hard to look into the future, but as it stands right now, do you see yourself going right until like Kirk Sutherland did, until they say, well, let's see your birth certificate, because that's kind of the end for you. Do you see yourself going that long, or I know it's hard to say.
I don't have a clue. I'm going to do this as long as I love it and as long as my family loves it. And I always find that the wagon drivers that go the longest is when their family wants to keep doing it. Like you look at like Kirk, for example, he's got Mitch in there, and Weston, Mitch's boys starting out ride and stuff like that. Look at Buddy. Buddy was he quit a little bit earlier, but I think that was more to his body. But he's still around it every day. So his boys were in there, and so I think it lights a fire in you, right, when it gets to a certain point. And lots of the wagon drivers that shut her down and don't come back are the ones that their families don't continue with it. And you get to a point, I think, where you get burnt out, and you don't have that fire anymore, so you don't continue. So I'm not going to say no. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll be that 65-year-old man that finally has to hang up the reins and ride off into the sunset. But for now, I'm just happy to do it year to year. I love it. I love the game. I love the horses. I love everything about it, and that's what keeps me going. And I like to win, so I'm going to keep on trying to do that.
You do a great job for sure, and I mean, you're at the top of your game. You're having huge success, and got to be good putting on your boots every morning by the kind of season you've been having. So hats off to you. It's fun to watch for sure. So.
Well,
I've been a wagon fan my whole life. I kind of getting this guy. He's just got involved, and it's great. Like best spectator sport there is out there.
Yeah, that's what I always say when you get involved. It's always better if you have know a few guys and get to meet a few guys, and it makes you more involved because you start watching for the little nuances of the sport and how they're doing and what's going on. And even for me, like, we sit down at night, like I was talking about before, and we'll watch the same heat 4 or 5 times because you see something new every single time, and it's something to watch, it's something to see live, and it's even just as fun to watch it on tape, I find.
Yeah. So do you analyze yourself after you're done racing? Do you sit down later on and just kind of go through the race and see what happened?
Oh, absolutely. I'm my biggest critic. I'm a huge component of watching videos, and not just for myself, for everybody. Like I like to know. That's kind of one of the things that I wouldn't say I struggle with this season, but I'm trying to figure out is all the drivers' nuances, their tendencies on the racetrack, how they load into the barrels, what they do in certain situations, how their outfits work. When I ran in the CPCA for so long, it's an advantage if you know the guys' horses and you know what they're going to do on the racetrack. So I'm coming into this a little bit fresh, learning their tendency of their horses and stuff like that. So I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball on some of that stuff, but it's just going to take time and study to get to that next level on that part of it. But I've been doing all right without knowing absolutely everything, but I think years in the future, it'll help pay dividends the more that you learn, because you can make those split-second decisions out there with that foreknowledge in the back of your mind.
So are you a guy who goes into a show and you got your barrel 3 and 4 team and your barrel 1 and 2 team, or do you kind of mix and match on the fly, or you like to keep them set if you can?
I like to keep them set if I can, because it's always nice to have that confidence and exactly what's going to be happening and stuff. But for me, this year especially, I've been just kind of using the horses where I need them. So especially my right wheelers, I got 2 right wheelers that are almost mirror copies of one another, but the one stands a lot better, might be a little bit stronger. So I've been kind of rotating him through different barrels on when I need them, and then just my leaders, like, I've been rotating them through a lot more just because of certain injuries and stuff like that. But ideally, if a guy can get them set and just leave them and they're doing well for you, then yeah, I would love to just get those outfits set and just leave them the way they are.
Yeah, I guess if there's one upside to the injuries, you kind of get to see what you have in your barn when you have to mix and match a little bit more. Otherwise, you're probably gonna go with what most nights. So if you had one barrel, your name gets pulled, you're in the final dash for cash, what barrel are you picking if you got choice?
One barrel.
You're a one barrel guy. Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a one barrel guy, 100%. I got in my opinion, one of the best left-hand leaders in the game. His name's Three Score. He's I think he's only nine this year. Not a big horse, but he's got a ton of heart, and he's pretty unreal. So if I was to pick any other barrel with that horse, I would be pretty disappointed in myself, especially when I got choice. I'm not saying I can't win off another barrel, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, you just have to do it a different way, I guess, then, right?
exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, you.
I got nothing. I'm just taking it all in, man.
Well, I got
learning.
always lots to talk about, and I made a bunch of notes, and we kind of covered them all. But you've been great to have on. I'll tell you, it's.
Before we do close out, who's your NFL team? He said he loves the NFL. We're a sports show. We love football, especially the NFL.
Well, there you go. It might be a cliche, but I'm a big Kansas City Chiefs fan.
And that's great because he's an Eagles fan, and that makes me happy. So I love you.
Honestly, it's kind of funny. I've been a part of a fantasy football league for a lot of years. My buddy got me into it, and that's kind of what really got me into the sport. And the year that Patrick Mahomes took over as a starter, I threw him on my roster just as a backup. I had Aaron Rodgers as my main guy, and I threw him on there as a backup, and all of a sudden he started out scoring Aaron Rodgers every freaking day. So all of a sudden he's my starter, and ever since then I've watched his entire career, and he is such a gamer. He's such a baller. It's so fun to watch.
Are you okay?
I'm not sure I like him as much anymore.
And I'm sorry what happened to your team last year, but
you
kind of got schooled. You kind of got schooled.
Yeah, I thought we had it at halftime, man.
You know what? If Hurts never had that one bad play, it would have been a different game.
Yeah, I agree.
That's football, though.
That's sports. It's like you said with
Yeah.
Calgary, and you've dealt with it with the weather. That is why we as men, as people, women love it too, but that's what makes sports so great. You can't predict anything.
Well, it was funny, Jamie, in Medicine Hat. So I took Josh to the races, and we had his son along, and my wife and my son, and we're picking, because that's what you do in chuck wagons. You're betting right in the stands, and I'm basically going with names because I know a lot of the names throughout the years, and he looks over at me and he says, "You bastard, you know all the names." I said, "Yeah, but they still have to run the race,
Yeah, exactly. And like for me, being in the NFL, it's kind of neat because you're not a part of any one of the states or the cities or something like that. So I'm more of a fan of players. Truthfully, I like watching good players. I like to see how they tick, how they handle stress, and what they can do on the field. That's what I'm a real fan of, honestly.
Yeah, well, the NFL is full of amazing players. So I get it. I could watch every game, even though I'm one team's fan. There's not many other sports that I can watch every team play, but in the NFL on Sunday, if I got nothing to do and my kids have blasted off somewhere and my wife's okay with me sitting there with a case of beer, I will watch every game because there's a player on every team that I'm enjoying to watch.
Yeah, and it's just like this sport. I love watching those the young players come in and seeing what they can do, seeing if they can rise to the occasion, and it's entertaining. And when you see that spark happen even with the 49ers, that was a ride with Purdy. That was a ride. And, it's unfortunate what happened to him in the playoffs because I would have liked to see what he could have done being healthy. But man, he rose to the occasion, and that was a great story.
I hope he comes back, even though I hate the Niners. I hope he comes back. I hope he lights it up. It would be great to see.
Well, today's sports is all about the young athletes. Like they're hitting there in 19, 20, and they're they're the stars of the league, and in every league it seems like. So
yeah, I don't know what it is. I think mentally they're preparing our young athletes a lot more than they used to. You just get thrown into the mix and either you sink or you float. But I think they're psychologists and different stuff like that they're working on. And I think that's helping helping our young athletes out a lot, at a higher level.
Well, I mean, just they have physical trainers, they have dietitians, they have everything at their disposal. If they know you're going to make it, you are fully set up with everything. You got a person massaging your feet, you got someone working on your back, you got someone handling your taxes. If you want a vehicle, you just tell someone amongst the team, here's my budget, here's this. They go finance your vehicle for you. You know what I mean? Like, everything's taken care of for them, especially in the big leagues. It is so different. Like, they don't even, if you could literally say, I don't know if I want to buy a house, I want to rent one, they will set that up. You tell them how many bedrooms, how many baths, and they'll show you 6 options. You just pick one and they go set it up for you. Like, that's how crazy it is, like, so I get it. It's younger kids, especially if you're talented already, they've got it kind of made out for them.
Well, maybe one day we'll be with wagon racing, but
God, that would be awesome.
I have to draw my own bath. It's terrible. I try to get my wife to, but she just gives me the middle finger. I don't know.
Put on ice cold and then laughs as she gets out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was going to ask you, Jamie, one question I had here and I didn't get to, but you had 4 guys retire after Calgary. How does the WPCA go about filling those spots, like, for the rest of the year, or do you know what goes on there?
So basically, they've restructured the WPCA the last 2 years, and they went with a permit system. So I'm a permit driver. I'm actually not a full member yet.
Okay.
And I had to be in the top 2 of the permit drivers to qualify for Ponoka. So because there's only 36 drivers that raced at Ponoka. So I had to be the top 2 because there's 34 full-fledged members and only 2 up there. But there's a lot more that were racing throughout the year that are waiting in the wings. Like, we're running 10 heats here, so we get an extra 4 drivers that are actually, that's not true. There's 2 guys.
Couple guys are running 2, right?
Yeah. But anyway, there's extra guys there, and if we're running 36, we got more than enough guys to fill those heats. Okay. So that's kind of what the permit system is all about. And then at the end of the season, if I'm in the top 30, I don't know if they're going to do 32 or 34 this year. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll be a full-fledged member by next year's.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. What's it take to get to be a full-fledged member? So
yeah, right now, I'm not really a part of officially a member of either associations. I'm not. I guess I'm not CPCA anymore. I'm technically a permit driver in the WPCA, but I guess PPCA doesn't sound really too nice, so we won't go with that.
Well,
no comment.
Yeah.
No comment.
We'll just go with that.
Come on, I set you up for that. You're just gonna leave it? Come on.
My show's probably gonna get canceled from the tomfoolery that we talk about on a daily. I'm pretty sure once the liberal government finds this show, we're shit out of luck. So
well, we really appreciate you for joining us, and we definitely are going to be down the trail at some point, whether it be Strathmore or at Century Downs. We want to come out and check some more races out, and maybe High River. We don't know how it. I'm in Southwest Saskatchewan, so we're droughted out, and harvest is right on the beaten path here. So
just taking a lawnmower basically at this point out there, sadly.
Yeah, but we got a hat for you when we see you, and we definitely want to come back to the back of the barn there and check you out and visit, and we got some swag for you for sure. So
well, that's right on. Well, yeah, we'll if it's after the races, we might even have one of those cold beer that we've been talking about. That sounds all right.
That's my man right there.
That sounds good. And I didn't tell you, but next to me here is one of the best smoker cooks or chefs, you want to call them, in the land. He's cooked for some very high-end guys. Kid Rock, don't be modest.
His event, not him.
Well, he ate it.
What do you do, brisket?
All over.
What do you do, brisket, or what do you do? What's your
a lot of brisket and whatnot. So here's the thing: I'm not the star. I got to become friends with a star, a pitmaster of sorts, and he's the man. And he invites me to his events that he does, and I'm kind of his sous chef. I help him do all the stuff. We do a lot of brisket. pulled pork, ribs, that type of stuff, a lot of steak. And he normally works with Traegers, but I cook on all sorts of stuff. But generally, we travel with a lot of Traegers.
If he ever needs a wagon event to come try out his talents, I got a guy that would really get it in there. So absolutely.
I wish we could work it out. He's coming up here for his first time in 2-3 weeks. We're coming up. We're doing a big event at Cold Lake, Alberta.
Yeah, absolutely.
The world's largest mud fest is on. So mud bogs concerts, 5 days long, and we're gonna be cooking kind of backstage for all the bands after the concerts. That's what our job is gonna be is just feed them the VIP.
You're like a food groupie.
Yeah, that's me. That's it. See, he's become the star. I can cook. I'm the groupie. I'm just the groupie.
He's selling himself short. I'm telling you, he knows around the grill like I have never seen. So. Maybe that's something we can do down the road too.
That would be great. I'd love to come up and cook for the group back there. Like maybe in Medicine Hat would be the easiest. But come cook for a bunch of you guys.
Do a whole pig. That's what you need to do.
Oh, that would be ideal. I only have one grill that fits a whole pig, but son of a bitch, I get the right guys. I could load that thing up.
Well, you're cooking. I'll clean the stalls for Jay.
Hey, I'm up for that. That's right on. That's funny you watch. I actually got hooked on a series on Netflix here where it's Barbecue Masters, Pit Masters or something. I don't know. I watched the whole series this summer. Made me want some brisket and all sorts of things. So if you could fulfill my dreams, I've never kissed a man, but I might yet.
He's 666 Grill. So if you check them out, he's got lots of recipes and he does lots of different things on Instagram too. So
I love food.
Who
doesn't love food? And we're from Saskatchewan, Alberta. Who's got better beef than us? Nobody. So
yeah, absolutely not. That's right.
Anyways, thank you very much for joining us. We know you probably got things to do, and we really appreciate you coming on. And I'll probably chit chat with you off and on. I like to stay in touch and just see how things are going.
Right on. Well, thanks for having me on here. It's been a blast, honestly.
You betcha.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks a lot. Good luck next weekend and the rest of the season.
You betcha.
You bet. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Take care.
Enjoy.
Bye. And there you have it. Jamie Laboucane. What a great guy.
What a great guy. Great show. And he likes the Chiefs. I couldn't be any happier. We're going to end this show now on that, which is probably
because I got an upset stomach. I got to go yak, and then we'll get back.
Oh, get him. Gavin's gone. Gavin's gone, and it's gone.
One more thing. Please like and subscribe. If you want to hear more of this, share it, like, subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing. We appreciate the support. And we do have swag. We'll repost some of it again.
Yeah, I'll throw it up tomorrow. We got shirts and hoodies right now available, multiple colors, and probably 6 or 7 different styles.
Great hats. Wearing one right now.
I got a pile of them at Schmaltz Insurance. That's where I keep all my inventory. If you want them, that's where people are grabbing them from. The shirts are $32 for one, $60 for two. The hats are $40, and got the hoodies at $60, and they're all very nice. I'm wearing one of the shirts today.
Nice.
He's got a hat on.
You betcha. And if you haven't checked it out, WPCA, CPCA, whatever you want, Chuck Wagons, check it out. It's worth the time.
You bet it is. I'm hooked.
I am too. I watch it all.
You've always been hooked. You got me hooked. Though.
I have.
Like I have more time to be hooked to another damn sport.
As I've said, it's the greatest show on dirt.
I agree.
Greatest show on dirt. So thanks, Jamie, for joining us, and stay tuned for future guests because we got a lot of great ones coming. Yes, we do.
And we have a brand new podcast about to go down in about 5 minutes, so you'll see it probably tomorrow.
Now, thanks for tuning in.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.